Greetings once again, pirates on the high seas. Duuz-Diz-Din back with more One Piece, where previously, because of the revelation that Vegapunk's transponder that is sending out his message to the world is inside the Iron Giant, it was attacked by the Five Elders, causing it to fall and sink into the ocean. The Iron Giant still laments wanting to meet up with Joy Boy, and as a result of this attack, Vegapunk's transmission was cut off. With this dealt with, the Elders decide to go after Lilith and Atlas, as York reveals that Edison is no longer connected to Punk Records, though whether or not he has actually ceased to be is up in the air. At that same time, Luffy, Dory, and Brogy manage to make it to the giant warrior pirate ship, while Bonnie deals with Vice Admirals Bluegrass and Doll by turning them into kids. But Marcus Mars is hot on their trail, attacking them from the sky. And we see on the shore that both Warcury and Jupiter are pursuing as well. After hitting up the giant warrior pirate ship kitchen and getting a meal that was already prepared for him, Luffy is able to transform back into Gear 5th. But shockingly enough, he goes over to Bonnie and encourages her to transform as well, not really knowing how her powers work, but seeing that she's able to do things in a very similar manner to him. And so she utters the phrase that allows her to assume a Joy Boy form, or I guess a Nika-like form as well, uttering that she wants the future where she's the most free, and Bonnie goes into Gear 5 as well. The drums of liberation resound in stereo, managing to reach below the waves to the Iron Giant, who feels like he's finally discovered Joy Boy at last. The Elders are on the move, but with double the joy and double the liberation, can our heroes make it out on top? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, One Piece chapter 1119. Emet, which, if I remember correctly, that's usually written on a golem. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was in Shaman King, there was a golem that was powered by spirits, and it had Emet written across it. And I believe that's in reference to a tale of a golem that the Jewish people used in order to fight back against oppressors. Is that like the name of the Iron Giant? Which would be weird since it's not made out of clay or anything, but then again, the golem in Shaman King wasn't made out of clay either, so that could be the case. Though the Iron Giant feels a lot more autonomous. But a protector of an oppressed people? Oda and his love of politics and lore. But we have Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage Volume 9. Ibi, pelted with rocks by children who hate Kaido. Right. Yamato would not be too welcome given how they look with the horns and everything. Which is unfortunate because Yamato was running around the festival and no one seemed to have an issue with them. In fact, Yamato was much beloved in the Flower Capital, but in the outer regions with less information, no one would really know too much about Yamato. I wonder, will Yamato make friends with the kids? Loved by the children across the line? Yeah, I'm thinking back to one of the endings for One Piece during Wano. You see Yamato running across the land with kids following them and stuff like that. Maybe we'll have that. We pick up in the Labo phase, where it seems Stussy has released Kaku. Kaku tells her, "Just go, Stussy. You said you know what I'll do next, didn't you? You think we're friends? Don't make me laugh." Stussy listens in silence, as Kaku tells her, "A cold-blooded colleague whom I respect maybe, but once Lucci gets here, I won't be able to stop him." With tears in her eyes, tries to say, "Kaku, I," but he shouts, "Just go." And as she leaves, Kaku has a very bitter look on his face. Yeah, Kaku was always the softer-hearted of the two when it came to Lucci and him. Yeah, a lot of people seem to think that Kaku's just gonna up and abandon the government and everything, but dude, the sheer fact that the former members of CP9 rejoined the government at all after everything went down with them is already kind of tells me as much as I need to know. It's gonna take something really big for the lot of them to just quit. Even though Kaku, probably the most out of any of them, would want to leave. But he's right, like, he cares about his friends, which are the former members of CP9 now in CP0. he's not gonna abandon them that easily. But at the same time, it's obvious he's at least become good friends with Stussy. And also, given the fact that she freed him, he's at least gonna make sure that she's able to get away. Now we pick up out at sea, where both Luffy and Bonnie have gone into Nika forms, dancing in the sky, floating warriors in white. Both Luffy and Bonnie laughing and squealing with joy as Luffy says, "Ha ha ha ha, now I'm having fun." The Marines call out, "That's the same face as on Straw Hat Luffy's poster," while the giants cheer, "Nika!" While Mars, flapping up in the sky, questions, "Two Nikas? It's just an illusion of the age fruit. Know your place." And he lets out a blast from his beak. Luffy says, "Listen up, boys. You can't hurt these guys by ripping them up or crushing them. So I want you to wail on me as hard as you can." Huh? What? Luffy inflates himself, blocks Mars's blast, and essentially gets cooked by it. He screams out in pain, but he takes it. I don't understand. What's the plan here? Sanji says, "So there's no other way to do this?" Frankie says, "As hard as we can, eh? Say no more." Well, Bonnie freaks out saying, "You want me to punch you? What? Why?" Dory calls out, "Help us out here. Do something about that bird." Brogy tells the others, "Put out the flame so we can sail." "Stop dancing, you idiot." And the giants who are doing the Nika dance say, "What? You're doing it too." Luffy, who is utterly burnt, grabs onto Mars's wings and says, "Hurry, while I've got a hold of him." Is he like gonna take in a bunch of damage? And I don't get it. Sanji says, Captain's orders, Bonnie. Ifrit Jambe, hell, memories." Frankie says, "Strong impact, right." And Bonnie using a combination gear third with hockey. Does she have hockey, or is it just the memories of Luffy using a hockeyed up gear third punch? Regardless, Bonnie says, "Here goes, supersized Nika punch." And all three of their hits clash onto Luffy's back, who cries out, "Ah, oh, that hurts." Bonnie's eyes pop out of her head, saying, "What? We're hurting you?" Luffy cries out, but you can see the tension starting to well up as Luffy's body presses up against Mars as he starts to just reel him into his inflated stomach as everyone's hits are hitting the opposite side of Luffy's back. Luffy says, "Well, yeah, of course it's gonna hurt if you use hockey." But Sanji says, "Keep that pressure on, Bonnie." While Frankie says, "Push him like you're trying to squeeze the life from his lungs." And Bonnie freaks out again, saying, "What's wrong with you people?" But Luffy presses Mars in further and further and further. And yeah, with all that tension going on, Luffy releases it all using Gum Gum Dawn Balloon and just launches as he inflates himself. Mars is launched into the air. It's like, hey, if you can't beat him, send him flying. And actually a classic Luffy tactic. The giants cheer, "Yeah, it's gone, and it can't come back. Let's get going, people. Yeah!" And as everyone lands on the deck, Luffy says, "Where's Usopp's group?" Sanji says, "They should be coming down any second, but they're late." Atlas says, "I'll go and see." Sanji says, "What? No, Atlas." But Atlas takes off. I was hoping this wasn't going to happen. Atlas was safe as long as she stayed with Luffy and the others. But now that she's broken off, there's no guarantee she'll live. I don't want my favorite Vegapunk to die. But Atlas gets in a mental communication with Lilith saying, "York is monitoring us. Lilith, we should..." But down under the sea where the Iron Giant is now walking under the seafloor, Vegapunk's message picks up again as he says, "But actually, nothing of the sort." As we see the Dendemushi regaining consciousness, you pick up on Whole Cake Island, where you can see Katakuri listening intently, as well as his other siblings. Charlotte Brownie says, "Huh? Oh, hey!" While Moscato says, "It's back on." Charlotte Zucato says, "What's he talking about?" Vivi and Morgans both say it's back. While people elsewhere say the picture is fixed. Was there a problem with the transmission? York gets in communication with the Elder saying, "There was only a temporary break in the mental waves. The transmission snail's memories and mental waves work on separate circuits. You have to actually destroy it directly, Elders." We even see Gaimon and Sarfunkel. Are they listening as well, or are we just seeing them? Regardless, Vegapunk's master says, "Might you consider a will inherited through the years?" Can only pray that those at the mercy of this reason will be able to hear this message. Well, that's unfortunate. Something he directly wanted people with the will of D to hear. It was the only part of the message that was cut out. Oh, Luffy looks up saying, huh? What the? Oh, is that rain or bombs? The Marines say neither, as we see a bunch of stuff raining down on the Marines and the giant warrior pirate ship, as we see Cypherpole agents and rubble raining from the sky. So that's why Mars inhaled all the Cypherpole agents and the Seraphim. The Marines say, it's the Cypherpole and a bunch of rubble. Why are they coming out of the sky? Catch them or they'll die on impact. And you see Marines catching Cypherpole agents, and they say the Seraphim too. You look over to the shore and you see Jupiter just launching everything out. God, he really is like Kirby. Luffy looks over saying, it was that monster. It spit them all out. He looks like a fountain. Brogy says, they're coming this way. We need more distance. But Jupiter turns his attention to the giant warrior pirate ship, and he goes from launching to sucking, drawing them all back towards his maw. Everyone calls out, here it comes. Watch out for the suction. Now we're going backward. Furl sails, use the oars. Luffy says enough of that and just clobbers Jupiter in the face with a hockeyed up giant fist. Oimo says, go Nika, go! As Doll and the Marines watch from the ship, they say, white giants, monsters, Cypherpole from the sky? Is this all a bad dream? And then there's Warcury, who comes racing out, right past where Luffy and Jupiter are clashing. Luffy says, oh shoot, there goes the boar, watch out! He's really, really sturdy. Brogy says, look out for him. He'll smash the ship to pieces. We gotta flee. And Warcury just goes launching off, not caring about the fact that he's probably gonna end up falling into the water. He goes straight for the giant warrior ship. And you can see how massive he is in size. He is the same size, if not a little bigger, than the giant warrior pirate ship. Meanwhile, just like a lot of people called it, Bonnie is in no shape to fight. Sanji is tending to her, and Bonnie's in her regular child form saying, I can't, freedom is tiring. It's like, yeah, there was no way Bonnie was gonna be like in that form for long, especially using it for the first time. Ooh, but under the depths, Luffy hears a voice call out, Joy Boy, and from the sea rises the Iron Giant, who clocks Warcury one and sends him flying back. Dang! We were waiting for this thing to do something, and it did something. A hit that even Luffy couldn't pull off. Because remember, Warcury is too tough and too hot for Luffy to hit, and this thing just knocked him back towards the island. Like it was nothing. Like, jeez. Okay, I had to read this a couple of times. I have to assume the Iron Giant is recalling Joy Boy's words to him. Remember, Emet, only when the time is right. And Emet thinks to himself, time is right? Like, this is the right time, right? I think this was the right time. Dory and Brogy's eyes pop out of their head as they go, what the heck is that? While Luffy's eyes light up saying, Robo! Man, what a chapter though. Good stuff, good stuff. Man, Egghead, the hits just keep on coming. Now, it's not full of tense clashes, it's just hit and runs. Hit 'em, run, escape, escape, escape. Punch him down, run. Punch him down, run. It makes me think of some of the best arcs, because I do love when we go head to head with a specific crew, but I also love the arcs where it's just about getting the F out of Dodge. That's what we had in like Impel Down, Sabaody, even when it came to the Marineford War. It was achieve a certain objective and get out of there. Shoot, even Whole Cake. And those usually end up being my favorites because you can feel the tension. I wonder what'll happen with Stussy now that Kaku has let her go. What'll happen to Kaku? I mean, nobody really knows that she's the one who let him go and vice versa. So I wonder what'll happen to Stussy ultimately. And man, that combination attack to launch Mars Man, they might have launched Mars to Mars at that rate. And that armament hockey, was that Bonnie's armament hockey or just because she went for the Nika-like future? It would make sense if she has armament hockey. To get this far and not have it would be weird. Then again, we've seen plenty of Straw Hats who don't have it. But yeah, I mean, Bonnie was able to get in, what was it, one hit with the Nika-like future. And that's the thing about her distorted future. Most times she gets in one good hit with their distorted future, and that's about it. Which is why I wasn't really worried about her having that ability, because if it's just one attack and then she's tired afterwards, I mean, if she could train with it, but the problem is, the older she gets, the less likely she is to be able to use certain ability. If it wasn't through Luffy's motivation, she might have not even been able to use this ability to begin with. So I'm not so much worried about Bonnie being too overpowered. Because even if she was able to unleash an ability like Akainu's, yeah, she'd be able to unleash one of his stronger attacks. But there's no guarantee that would do enough to finish off an opponent. And to go into a stronger form, an awakened form, when she doesn't have the experience behind it to back it up. Yeah, she's only gonna do so much. Which means that in the fight ahead, when we actually see her towards like the final battle, she'll probably be a little bit more skilled. So this definitely feels like a bit of a setup for something in the future, which is ironic given her abilities. It's interesting that with this, the Denden Mushi is back activated, and the Iron Giant is now ready to run the ones. So will the message loop? Will it finish playing? Is it almost done? Because it's like, man, we still getting some more information. And now the Seraphims are on the marine ship. I was wondering what was going to end up happening with the Deep Cypherpole agents and the Seraphim when they were inhaled by Jupiter. And the Iron Giant's name is Emet. Yeah, that was kind of easy to predict just because of my history with Shaman King. Just because the golem in that was also a machine, had Emet on it, and was based off of that golem from Hebrew myth and all that. But man, I was waiting to see how strong Emet was, and man, it was a strong boy. And man, Joy Boy, how did he know about so much? Because we saw how Gold Roger knew about certain things, but there's other stuff that he seems to have known about that even he was putting in place and preparation for. Like, there's so much forethought that has come to fruition between Joy Boy, Roger, and seemingly even Shank. What did you guys know? What did you find out? How did you have all these predictions? You even have like Toki going towards certain points in the future and making predictions. How did you guys know all of this? Was there a set date, a set time? Was it all foretold? Were you just trying to stack the deck in eventually, I guess, Luffy's favor? Because even people have talked about the fact that you had Crocus at one part of the Red Line, where the Red Line and the Grand Line intersect, and then you had Rayleigh at a complete other place. And we're still waiting to find out where Scopper Gaban is, but he's probably at a pivotal point as well. So it really is a question of what did all these people know? Because you even have Joy Boy telling Emet, you gotta wait for it to be time. Where did all this information come from? So curious. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Till next time, take care. Bye-bye.